Day 2 of the Kansas City Chiefs mandatory minicamp practices are officially in the books. And with that being said, we have more news, notes, highlights, observations from another day here at practice. And in this video, we're going to break down everything you need to know about what happened today at practice and what you need to know going forward as they get a little bit of a break before training camp begins. Now, before we jump into the video, I want to start it off like we always do, and I want to give a major shout out to all of the Chiefs media members out there who, work so hard each and every single day to get these highlights out for us, kind of, enabling us to make these videos. Without them, these videos are not possible. So do me a favor, go follow them at the top left of your screen. PJ Green, Harold R. Kuntz, Aaron Ladd, also Pete Sweeney is another guy out there who does such a good job at his job. So go follow them on Twitter if you haven't already done so, Chiefs fans. I guarantee you will love having them as or following them on Twitter, right? With that being said, let's kind of deep dive into today's practice. Now, let's start off with talking about a couple of guys who were absent. BJ Thompson, expected. Also Joe Tooney. Now, a couple of guys were present but not practicing. Xavier Worthy, they're still being very cautious with him, very precautionary, making sure that he will be healthy for training camp, and I think that is the right direction to go to. With that speed and with that hamstring, you do not want anything to jeopardize him missing the entirety of the season, so make sure he is okay before he practices again. Derek Nottie, Charles Menahue as well were at practice, just not practicing. Now, guys who were limited, Leo Chenal, Jalen Watson were there, getting in some work, not in full teams, but individual drills and other, aspect of practice, they were there. And then Harrison Butker was a full go in practice today as well, which was a good thing to see. Now, in terms of day one, a couple of guys really stood out yesterday, today as well. A couple of guys will talk about that in a minute. But Justin Reid, this is something that's been interesting in my eyes with the new kickoff rule. They really wanted to experiment how things would be if he was going to be the kicker in those scenarios, right? Adds another guy who can make big-time tackles, and I think you'll need it, especially with this new kickoff rule, right? So they're trying to see what he can do as a kicker. Leo Chenal, Jalen Watson, again, partook in position drills and installs, but not scrimmage work, basically. The same thing that happened today. And then Pacheco looks like he is, getting back into swing of things here. Not in 11-on-11s yet, but I think that will continue to ramp up as time goes on, and he should be a full go for the start of training camp, which I am excited about. As we all know, Kadarius Toney did show up for the start of training camp, or mandatory minicamp as well. Yesterday, day one, Rashid Rice looked like an absolute unit. I really just wanted to do a quick overview just in case, a couple of you guys missed a couple of the notes, right? I think Sky Moore had a beautiful touchdown, a slant from Carson Wentz. Held onto the ball, even with some guys hitting him a little bit. Not big time hits, but, some bumps and whatnot. So definitely good by Sky Moore. Want to see him continue to get better and better as time goes on, because he's one of those guys who, isn't even a lock to actually make this team with all the wide receivers they have, and the ones that they brought in, Xavier Worthy, Justin Watson, and Marquise Hollywood Brown. You have Rashid Rice and Kadarius. They have so many options here. Miko Harmon's back into the lineup. So listen, Sky Moore is definitely not in a day one lock to make the 53-man roster at the end of the day. So need to continue to see him be better and better as time goes on. Now, before we jump more into day two and what happened today, do me a big favor, guys. Hit that like button just so we can get this video to more Chiefs fans around the world, but also more importantly, subscribe to the channel if you're new. It's free, it doesn't cost anything, and we will be breaking down the entirety of the Chiefs offseason. Now, you may be asking, what does that include exactly? Well, the rest of mandatory minicamp, training camp, preseason, regular season, everything you can think of, we've got you guys covered. And tomorrow, we're going to be breaking down another video where we talk about the 5 biggest players, right, in terms of breaking out at camp. We're going to be breaking down some more Chiefs OTAs and mandatory minicamp, so make sure you guys subscribe for that. And lastly, if you guys want to watch some Chiefs games live with me, you guys can follow my Twitch. I'm going to try to stream some preseason games, break down some film of those. It is Matty Dubs with 3 S's, or you can find the link in the description below. Now, with that being said, let's talk about more of day 2 kind of news and notes. Now, another big piece of news from actually day 2 was kind of the offensive line and who was working in with the ones, right? So obviously with no contact and no pads, it's very interesting to see what guys are working in now, but also very intriguing to see down the line when the pads come on, which one of these guys continue to, practice well. Now today we saw both Kingsley and Wanya Morris both mixing in with the ones at the tackle position, and this is important because this is the left tackle position. They really need someone to come in here and stand out to protect their quarterback, right? So I think it's very intriguing right now to see who's getting these reps, and also I really want to remember this, go back or go into the future and see which one of these guys look good now, but also it translates to when the pads come on as well. So keep in mind that there's still a lot of football left to be played, a lot of competition yet to happen, especially with this offensive line group here, right, to see who's going to be that starting left tackle here for Patrick Mahomes. Now, with that being said, as we talked about Patrick Mahomes, let's talk a little bit about a connection that he is building with one of these receivers, and it's really coming together. Not only did Rashee Rice break out yesterday and look like he's ready to have probably one of the biggest seasons from a second-year wide receiver that we've seen in a while. That's what it looks like could be, on pace for, but also another wide receiver is building a nasty connection with number 15. Hollywood Brown. I mean, dude, couple of really big-time throws, couple of really big-time catches. I am pumped to see what this offense looks like this season. And, as a guy who, isn't the biggest, I'm not going to say you're going to say I'm the biggest Chiefs fan in the world, but man, looking at this team, looking at what they have done, this is going to be a scary team. Hollywood Brown caught a touchdown on a deep pass from Patrick Mahomes. Josh Williams tallied a PBU during a team red zone drill. So Josh Williams is another guy who, continues to stand out here for this defense in the secondary. And most importantly, Jared Wiley. Now, we've been sitting here the last couple of weeks talking about Jared Wiley and Travis Kelce and Noah Gray, who's really going to stand out as the number 2 tight end behind Travis Kelce. And to be completely honest with you, Noah Gray had a great day yesterday. Jared Wiley made a few great catches yesterday, but Jared Wiley, backed it up with another big-time day today. A couple of big-time catches, from both quarterbacks. I thought Jared Wiley, is a guy that I just think has so much potential. Maybe not for this season up and coming, but down the line, I think this dude is going to be an absolute stud. Now, I want you guys to let me know in the comments down below, do you think Jared Wiley has that type of potential to be the next man up after Travis Kelce decides to hang up the cleats, which might not be for a while, right? But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family. So much more Chiefs videos going to come out over the next few weeks, so make sure you guys join the family. Turn on post notifications, that way you're notified every time we post one of these videos. But man, the Chiefs are off to an unbelievable start, and I can't wait to see what they do next. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.